Hello, and good afternoon, all you beautiful people. My name is Anastasia McDonald, and welcome to the Real Daddy God Show. Over here, we are always learning what it is to have this Daddy God father us, and then we are learning, what it is to come up higher and join him and walk in the fullness that he has with. Hi, Adejimo. Hello, you're the first. Nice to see you. Hi, Queen Bee. Oh, that's my co-host. I wish you were over here. Hi, I miss you. I miss you so much. Anyway, let's get to it. So, yes, this is the Real Daddy God Show, and here we're learning, we're trying, and we're not trying. We are learning to be fathered by God through everyday living. Now, life does happen. Things over here on this side of the of the earth, things do happen to us. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why you are the way you are? Why you believe what you believe? Why you repeat certain patterns of behavior? Why you are, yeah, essentially, why are you the way you are? Or have you been at that place where people keep on repeating certain stuff about you? Or have you been in a place where you've just been wondering, you feel lost, you feel hopeless, you feel fearful, you don't have a clue about who you are, and you don't understand what is going on in your life? Well, this afternoon, I'm going to be continuing what I started 2 weeks ago, reference points. So the title is Reference Points, My Story, Your Story, Hopelessness to Freedom. But today, I'm going to be focusing on reference point number 2, which is our Father. So last week's I introduced the reference points. So what are reference points? The reference points are those places, people, events, situations dating back into our childhood that have shaped who we are today, but could be contaminating every part of our lives. Unfortunately, we live unexamined lives, and so we most of the time we operate on autopilot, and we go about life not realizing that actually our reference points are those places. Yes, Queen P, those places and those people and those events and those situations, those messages that are contaminating our today. And I'd like to acknowledge my mentor, Dr. Sandra Delaja, who did a teaching in 2017, which was titled Your Self-Confidence is Dependent on Your Reference Point. So what are these reference points? Well, he told us that there are 10, and I'm guessing there could be more of these reference points, more of these. And I'm going to name them. I'm going to list them. I'm going to shout them out to you, and hopefully they begin to get you thinking. So we have our mother. Number 1, mother. Number 2, father. Number 3, siblings. Number 4, our environment. And number 5, our neighbors. Number 6, school and classmates. Number 7, God. Number 8, education. Number 9, job. And number 10, society. And it is for me, it has been such a breakthrough and such healing for me, realizing, coming to the place knowing that there's nothing that is wrong with me, but actually these are the roots, if I can call them, the places of beginning, the foundation, or those 40 pillars that began to shape who I was. Now, for those of you who have watched my life story series, which you can find on my YouTube channel, either at Anastasia McDonald or at the Real Daddy God Show, I have spoken a lot about what happened from zero to at the time when I was 50 something. So I'm giving my my age away. So for the last 50 odd years, from my childhood to my adulthood, it has been a very difficult and very challenging and very confusing and very traumatic journey. So these are a reference point which I'm going to list again. So you got number 1, your mother; number 2, your father; number 3, siblings; number 4, environment; number 5, neighbors; number 6, school and classmate; number 7, God; number 8, education; and number 9, job; and number 10, society. These reference points have a way of significantly influencing your today. They really do impact your today, and if left unexamined, they can damage you yourself. Hi Emmanuel, lovely to see you. Emmanuel Owusu Chiriko, thank you for joining. Hi, hello Afolabi, thank you for joining me this afternoon. So these reference points, if they go unexamined, you're not going to understand why things are happening the way they are. I mean, I have spent a lot of time with my co-host, which is over there, Queen Patty, and we've been speaking a lot about our reference point, and it's bringing so much joy and so much relief and so much understanding. I understand. Oh my gosh, I now understand why I am the way I am. I now understand why situations are the way they are. I now understand why my parents or work, all these things. Hi Daniel, I now understand why these things are happening in our life. And ladies and gentlemen and kings and queens or whoever you are, the greatest thing that can happen, hi Evangelist Raymond, the greatest thing that can happen to you is clarity, understanding. There's nothing more painful than being in this world and not understanding what has happened in your past, and you're in life and you're trying all that you can to be who you think you should be, and then things are not happening for you. So last week with my co-host, we went back, we traced ourselves steps back, and we looked at the mother or mothering figure. So as a child, every child or every baby comes into this world helpless. Hi Daniel. So you come to this world helpless, and you are dependent on your mother. However, reference point number 1, as I said last week, however, things do happen. So hi Miss Sunga, you're there again. Nice to see you. So with a mother, okay, we are as children, we are dependent on our mothers, aren't we? And we are dependent on them for love, affection, warmth, acceptance. However, these things don't happen all the time. There's a situation where last week I said, type A abuse or type B abuse may set in. So the type A abuse is the abuse where the mother does not give all the goodness to the child. So the warmth, the love, the affection, the attention, there may be a situation where they're separated from the child because the child is not well. They're in the incubator for a long time. Maybe the mother is career oriented, so she hasn't got time to look after the child. Maybe it's a case where there's physical abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, physical abuse. So all these type A and type B, you don't realize that actually these are like seeds that are being sown into the child, and they grow up. You and I may grow up not understanding why the way we are, why we feel so lost, why we feel we have low esteem, why we may harm ourselves because of this lack of it's so important love that we need to develop. So with every one of us has got developmental stages, and with each developmental stage there is something that a parent needs to be giving to the child. Sometimes a mother may withhold love, so all these things can add up to you being a certain type of person, and you don't realize that you are contaminating your own life, the lives of your relationships around you, and then you have a skewed view of who God is as a result. So I shared it. So if you missed that, please once again go to the Real Daddy God Show on YouTube and upgrade or update yourself with that one. So today I'm going to be moving on to the father figure. Now, before I do continue, I really, really want to emphasize that this series is not about pointing finger at you, mom, or you dad or that situation. That's not what this is. But we're not blaming anybody. What we're doing here is retracing our steps to go to the root, to go to the reference point, and to begin to reflect and begin to dig deeper and to begin to excavate and analyze and understand what is happening. So, for example, just to backtrack a bit, I asked last week, what is the type of relationship do you have with your mom, or the type of relation you had with your mom? So now my mom has passed away, so I don't have a mom right at the moment, so that's why I use have and had, right? And now we're moving to the father figure. Anybody that was in your place as a child, as a father, a caregiver that represented the father figure, can I ask, what kind of relationship do you have with your father? Or what type of relationship did you have with your father? If I can just stop for a few seconds to ask you there. Ask all of you. And for those of you who watch the replay, this is a very, 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 very important, what do you call it? Important question for you to ask and to begin to look back on and to begin to ask questions. Who raised you as a father? What type of relationship did you have with this father figure? What type was it? Were you close? Were you able to talk to this father? Or were you scared of this father? Did you withhold from the father? Do you always have argue with your dad? Can you not stand the sight of your father? When you hear the word father, what happens to your inside? Do you cringe? Do you have these angry feelings that when you hear the word father or that father figure, what comes to mind? Or do you feel like breaking down? What type of relationship do you have with your father? And have you gone back to explore and understand what happened to you as a child? Now, as I said, we don't live in a perfect world. Things do happen. Fathers have their role that they need to provide. I'm a mother. There's no perfect parent out there. However, there are certain types of fathers that they inflict abuses on their children, and they continue to do it to the point that the children don't have any identity. So I'm going to take you through some of the things that may happen in your childhood that you've never examined or you've never given attention to, because these are blind spots. These are seeds that happen to us in our childhood, and because a child has to survive, you either end up suppressing or repressing because you have to live. So for all of you out there, and especially for those of you who mean business, I'm going to mention the word or the abuse of neglect. Have you ever felt neglected by your dad? Whether it be for whatever reasons, have you felt neglected? Maybe he had, another wife, like for those who've grown up in maybe a two household family where there are two wives. Back home, like in Africa, there are two wives, so you got the stepmother. So one group of family are favored, or group of children are favored over another. So one group of children may be neglected whilst another is favored. So what about neglect? Have you ever felt neglected? And even today, you accuse your dad that you neglected me, you didn't look after me, and as a result, you feel unimportant. You feel that you are nobody. You have issues with identity, and there's never been a case where you can really have a fruitful conversation with your dad, or you dare not even go there, because you know that if you go there, it's going to bring problems, it's going to bring situations, it's going to bring abuse, it's going to bring anger from your dad. Another one so I'm talking about the father wound, where these fathers may unknowingly inflict these wounds which go very deep into us. No, so talk about neglect, and I talk about the absentee father. Maybe your father was never present for you. He was never there emotionally. He was never there financially, or maybe he was not present because of a divorce or a separation or an incarceration. Maybe he was in prison. So you've never had the you know this you never had the chance to be attached to your dad. So that has been severed. It was severed at birth, so you don't know what it is to have a dad. And even the mention of daddy or dad may either cause deep angers within you, or may cause you to to cry, or you just don't want to hear the word father or daddy or papa or whatever that is symbolic of a father. You just don't want to hear it. No, I've shared with you about my story. I mean, in my childhood, even up to where I am today, I never really grew up with my daddy. From childhood, from babyhood, for whatever reasons, I was born in the UK. It was nannies that raised me, and then eventually it was my white foster mother that raised me. So I never had the opportunity to get attached to my dad. So I honestly don't really know what it is to have a daddy or a father or a papa, except this daddy God, in whom he said, I will be a true father to you, and you will be my beloved sons and daughters. Hello, Hope. Nice to have you on the Real Daddy God show. Today we're sharing the father. We're discussing about the father figure and the wounds that a father can inflict on the children unknowingly, and sometimes knowingly. Some fathers rain abuse on their children to the point that it's so sad. And my hope is that if you're a mother and you're a dad, all of us, we can be informed, be educated, and then and not do the same to our children, not repeat this cycle. For me, I don't believe in generational cycles in terms of the way the church puts, because that has been done with. But I do believe that we can replicate patterns of behavior on our children that can impact them so negatively, right? So we have neglect, and there's an abuse. There's the abuse of physical, whether it be physical, whether it be spiritual, whether it be financial, whether it be mental. Ask yourself, have you found yourself in that place before? Do you see your relationship with your father in terms of him not being present, him physically abusing? Back in Africa, it tends to be, this acceptable culture, where children are beaten, like real beaten. But actually, when you think about it, really, it is abuse. If you have a dad that is whacking you to wear, what do you call it, their welts on the skin, and knocking your head in such a way that is abuse. So, and then you don't understand why you grow up a certain way towards maybe a father figure, or you may have issues with people who are in authority. So I'm just raising I'm raising these points or these realities of these abuses, so that you can make peace with yourself and realize that, look, I am not crazy. I am not, I'm not a nutcase. It's what happened in my childhood. So you are not responsible for what happened in your childhood. However, you are responsible for changing who you are today. Another one of these abuses is controlling fathers. Controlling father. Do you remember having a controlling father? And please, again, I didn't need to mention that we're not pointing or blaming fathers or accusing fathers. We just want to understand our story. We want to understand our roots, where we are coming from. Did you have an overbearing, uncontrolling father? How is that impacting your today? How is that impacting your today? And then we have the father that may consciously or unconsciously withhold love for you. How is that impacting yourself negatively? Your relationship with your children. You may realize that you're not able to engage with your children. You're not able to hug them. You're not able to play with them. You're not able to have positive relationship with other people because that was not mirrored to you. It was withheld. So even though you may have children, what you do know is to replicate the behavior of your father or your dad. You know how to shout, you know how to scream. You don't know how to affirm your children. Your children, because you never receive that. And you know, this is so important, and it saddens my heart, sorry, that you know, people are not a lot of people are not present to, you know, to listen and take from this, because this is so serious. These are the things that affect us on our today. You know, these are the blind spots. We don't realize that these reference points have a way of impacting us on our today, on our relationship with our wife, with our wives, with the workplace, with other relationships. You know, they have a way of really not doing justice to us, rather doing us harm. And but anyway, my prayer is that for those of you who watch the replay, would take something away from you and begin to put positive steps into your life and make a change. You know, and Michael Jackson says, make that change. Make that change. You know, so I'm going to read to you some of the effects of the father wound that happens to you. So you may grow up with a lot of low self-esteem. You may have this tape playing and believe that I am not worthy. And it doesn't matter what anybody says to you, because this thing has happened in child, all these things that I mentioned to you, that you just see yourself as unworthy. You're unworthy of unworthy of goodness, unworthy of love, unworthy of favor, unworthy. In your mind it says, I am unworthy. That's a tape that keeps on playing in your mind. Another effect of the father wound is you end up telling yourself, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. You tell yourself, I'm stupid. Anything you do and it doesn't go well, you just tell yourself, I'm dumb, or I'm stupid, I never get it right. That's your perception. That's your mindset. That's how you play out in life. Another one is I am incompetent. Incompetent. Hi, Daniel. Hi there. I'm incompetent. You tell yourself, I'm incompetent, even when, you know, people can see your potential. They were telling you that, oh my gosh, you know, maybe for you, Daniel, if I can use for example, they'll say you're good at maths or you're good at engineering, but you are the last person to, you just, all you see and you hear in your mind, I am incompetent. Another one is you telling yourself that I am unlovable. I am just unlovable and I can never be loved. So that's a tape that keeps on playing in your mind. And another one is you may have this perfectionist. You know, the people who they say they are perfectionists. So there's nothing that that looks right. They always wanted it to be perfect. Perfect. And if it's not perfect, then life comes to an end. And these are a result of the father wound, where the father has not been present, the father to nurture and to affirm. There's no place like the place of a father. And please, fathers out there, if you're a father, not even your father, you're father to be, or you play that role as a father, know that your role is so important. It's so powerful. It's so significant. Hi, Niran. Lovely to see you. We'll talk about the father figure, you know, and the father wound. You don't realize that your role is so powerful. You know, I am 50 something, you know, and even though my father has not really been in my life, I've never had a father in my life, and my father is not present in my life. I wish to have my father. I long to have my father, but I'm grateful that I have Daddy God, the Father of all fathers, who said that I will be a true father to you and you will be my beloved sons and daughters. And so it gives me, hence the real Daddy God show. He does not abandon. He does not forget you. He does not put you down. He does not abuse you. He's never tired of you. But I speak to the fathers of today that your role is so significant, regardless of what is going on, whether you're separated, you're divorced, or whatever. That does not negate your most powerful role in the life of your children. It does not negate it. So when a father, the father neglects their children, or they're absent, like I said, they're absent, whether through divorce, separation, death, incarceration, or business of life, where you're always going out, you're always on business trips, and you're not present. That has a almost like a lasting damaging effect on the child. At my age, I'm still working on myself to get out of the the neglect that my parents unknowingly inflicted on me. I am still working on myself. I work on myself daily, day and night, reading, studying, doing all manner of stuff to the word of God, to have my mind renewed, so I can be the person of God that Daddy God has made me to be. So also not having this acute and proper view of our dads in our lives, that also impacts the way we view God. Hence I know a lot of people may cringe when I say Daddy God, or when they hear the word Father God, or they hear the word the Father. It absolutely discuss them, that how can you call God Father? They don't want to hear. But these responses are a result of what has happened with our fathers. I am at this place with Daddy God as a father. I cannot express to you, I cannot tell you the joy of having and knowing this God as my father. Now, even though my father may have abandoned me, may have forsaken me, may have withheld from me, right? I have the Father of all fathers, and it's such a joy. It's such an honor. It puts smiles on my face when I think about Daddy God. So you guys understand, the real Daddy God show. So whilst this is a short episode, because I don't want to go beyond 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I cannot say everything. I cannot mention everything. This if we're going to go into the father wound, hi Ngozi, if we're going to go into the father wound, this can go on forever. My role here is to highlight, is to take you back, to help you retrace, I beg your pardon, to retrace your steps to reference point number 2, the Father, and to ask yourself, what type of relationship do I have with my Father, or had with my Father? How is this relationship empowering you or disempowering you? Most of the time, which is debatable, I beg your pardon, they can be very disempowering, and when they're disempowering, they have a way of contaminating every area of our life, whether we like it or not. So I want to bring this to the forefront, to get us thinking, to get examining, so that we don't repeat the mistakes of our fathers. We don't replicate the mistakes on our children. We sort ourselves out, whether it's getting professional counseling to help us through these minds, or all these things that have happened to us, so we can talk to a professional, and they can work us through all the bad stuff that has happened to us, the trauma, and so that we can be healthy, because it's God's desire that we have wholeness. He's come that we may have life and have it more abundantly. So hence me doing this series. This is not going to be a quick fix. This is going to take as we on number 2. Hi Bimpe, how are you? Lovely to see you. There, like I said, there are 10 reference points, and I'm not in a hurry, because when it comes to our healing and wholeness, there's no quick fix out there. There's nothing like microwave healing. These things, it takes time. So just by the mere fact of listening and hearing and understanding what may have happened in our childhood is the beginning of our journey to wholeness. So my name is Anastasia McDonald, and I'm the host of the Real Daddy God Show. And like I said, this is all about reference points, those places, people, places, situations, conversations that happened in our childhood that could be seriously affecting and contaminating our day, contaminate our relationship with ourselves, at work, and our view of God. So hence me doing this series. And my prayer is that for those of you who would watch the replay, you have something to take away. You can begin to understand. The light bulb will come on and say, oh my gosh, now I understand. Or you can say, oh my, now I understand why my colleague behaves that way. Or now I understand why my sister is the way that she is. Or my aunt is the way she is. Or my dad. Now I get it. It's not that I'm crazy or I'm going mad. Now I get it, because that's what happened to me. Hence my story, your story. There's nothing new under the sun. So once there's clarity, it just brings this a sense of relief that, oh, now I get it. Now I understand why I have felt all this way, maybe low self-esteem. I don't have confidence, low, I lack confidence, or why I'm hating myself, or why I can't embrace myself, or why I shy away from men, why I don't want any man in my life, why I feel uncomfortable around guys, why I feel uncomfortable about women, or women figures. All of these, they are in, what do you call it, your reference point. Your life is a sum total of your reference point, and I'm going to name these reference points before I sign off. So we have number 1, our mother; number 2, our daddy or father; number 3, siblings; number 4, environment; number 5, neighbors; number 6, school and classmates; number 7, God; number 8, education; number 9, job; and number 10, society. Next week we'll be looking at siblings. I hope that has been informative and life-changing. Please do share. Please share so that somebody can be blessed. I have been at that place where somebody shared a video and it has just transformed my whole world. So I'm going to sign off here. Have a good afternoon and enjoy your day. Thank you so much. And if you have any comments or things that you would love for me to share on the Real Daddy God Show, or any topics, please send me an email or just message me below on the Real Daddy God Show. Thank you. Have a blessed afternoon. Bye. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Bimpe. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye. Thank you.